Welcome back to Journey to June. I'm your host, Wendy Basilico, and I'm always here to instigate your soul and who you're born to be. And this is an episode that needed to happen. I end up talking to my good friend, so Christy's on here, Christi Nix Bloomer. You are in Fort Worth, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to say it. I'm just going to preface our whole conversation today as we have a monthly call for the last, Christy, 5 years, 4 years.
At least five or maybe six for a
She's my
while.
go-to girl. I don't even know. We have no agenda. We kind of like, sometimes it's like coaching. Sometimes it's dumping our motherly things. I don't know. How would you describe our call?
We can say it's catch up. We do talk about parenting. We talk about parent things too. Our own parent stuff, sibling things, business stuff. Just catching up with what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think also like it's just nice to, as coaches, to have a safe space to dump and actually like see things, the blind sides that we don't always see sometimes, even though you have a like you work with someone, I work with people. It's like someone that is not our coach, but allows for space. Wouldn't you say?
for sure.
Yeah.
I also think that we enjoy being around each other because in some ways, we're the opposite of each other too.
Oh, just a little. How would you describe who we are? I mean, if listeners want to know that you probably have been ready for 30 minutes and I just showed up, 5 minutes ago, and you're looking slick today at 7 a.m. in the morning. Go ahead. How do you see the both of us?
Um, I think that's what we enjoy about each other because every time I'm talking to you, it's like, oh, I've been here and I've traveled here and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to do a lot and I'm going to do this and I'm probably going to do this coaching thing, but I'm not sure, but I'll just text somebody and I'll get a client. So all of those things. And I'm usually worried. I'm planning. I have planned the absolute snot out of everything. And so I like being around you because your energy is far more just open and freeing and let things happen as opposed to me.
Yes, and the way I see you is like, gosh, I need more of you. You have your schedule. You're very regimented in your morning routine. Like, and we both have an only child, um, and I just think it's interesting to see different perspectives of how our brains work and how we're parenting and how it kind of like I love learning from you. I love how you see the world, and I think it helps me like calm my chaos. So that's why I love being on the call with you.
I think good call. Yeah, I like seeing how you see the world too. I'm like, huh, yeah, she's not bothered by that at all. Huh. Yeah.
Nah,
Probably take a cue. And I think that's why we continue to talk. Because
yeah.
we like the other perspectives and always feel like we're learning from each other, which is good, right?
What would you tell the listeners the value of like if they have someone that's not like them? Because sometimes I feel like you look around like people have their cliques and they're all alike, like they're wearing the same clothes or I mean, I'm talking young kids to like women in their groups. I just think I value our friendship so much.
Agreed. And if we hear what social media is trying to do, it's always trying to pit us against each other.
Yes.
And just see how we're different, but we're so much alike. And yet I remember talking with you about political stuff. I had hinted at some things. I'm like, oh, she does not share my brain on this, let me get curious. And you were one of the first people that I could get curious about, and I'm like, not trying to judge, please explain your thoughts about, or please explain your rationale for this. And you did. Nobody got mad.
Yeah.
And
And again,
do
that's
that.
why I value it's the honesty. Like you can disagree, but still hold space for someone and respect where they're at. And it doesn't have to be right or wrong, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that
that's what, I mean, that's
a
what I love.
lot.
I like learning so much, and I'm open to learn how you think about, could be politics or some other view. Um, okay. The reason we're getting on here is because there was like a preface of our 4 year or 5 years that we've kind of navigated our relationship, but also we had a call last week on Friday, and and I start asking you questions, and you're like giggling. My question was like, I think it was something like, what is your biggest takeaway from 2026, 2025, and like, where do you want to go in 2025? And it sparked something in you that sparked something in me. Okay, do you want to share what kind of went there? Yeah.
Yes. So I was talking about because I'm in grad school, which is hard for a brain my age. And most of the people that I'm in school with I'm probably old enough to be their mothers. I hate to say that out loud, and it's true. So I was talking about a test, one of my finals that I'd taken. I didn't do great on it, but my husband was saying, "How'd you think you did?" I'm like, "Not great, but it's fine." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "It'll work out. She'll give us some extra points. I'll figure it out. She'll curve it, whatever. It'll be fine." And in this program, you have to have A's or B's in every class. And so I did not score an A or B on this test. And so he's like, "Have you just kind of gotten into the rhythm?" And I then said, "I'm like, it'll be okay." And so when I was talking with Wendy, I was like, one of my classmates gave me the fuck jar because I just said, we said fairly often, and there's the little sign on it, we
Love
have
it.
no more fucks to give. So the jar is usually empty. And at this time of the year, it's especially empty.
It is. And that's where we went. It was like, how much more can we give? And we're all pulled. And it's funny, like, again, that's why I love talking to you or having someone. It's like real, like we're holding this, we are in it in a huge, I feel like I'm in it. Um, so I love the fuck jar. I don't normally curse on my podcast, but I love it.
Sorry.
Because I think everybody could have that jar in this moment. Um, and then it started something on me because, and this is where I want to go with this, because I think everyone, it's like we are holding a lot of, of balls in the air in this moment, in this time. And how much more can we give? How much more can we please? How much more can we say yes to? And I feel this conversation is needed for this moment, but also for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Um, because what came up for me is I'm tired of like holding back me. Two things. One was um, I just want to stop caring and just as a coach, just put myself out there. Like exactly what this conversation is. Because normally I play nice and be a little more cautious of the fuck jar. What the hell is that? But now I'm like, who the F cares? Like, who cares? And the other thought that came up for me in our conversation was um, when I am asked to do something, because as you know, I say a yes to a lot and I do a lot. It's like, I actually am not going to say yes. I'm going to say, I got to get back to you. And creating the boundary of like, I think this is where we really ultimately wanted to go in this podcast is tuning into our bodies of what really matters to what our body is saying. Is this aligned with me? we I find myself saying yes to everything. Like, oh yeah, I'll make an album over here. Oh yes, I'll do a 60th video party album. So I have like three projects that I have zero time for, and it's just a realization of how much I say yes to when I'm not really thinking about myself and like what my body actually wants to do. Talk to me about what I'm saying. What do you hear me saying?
I know until I started working with a somatic therapist, I didn't even know what that meant. She's like, "What is your body telling you?" I'm like, "What the are you even talking about?" And yet now, when I don't immediately act and just think, it's like, and just sit there and get quiet. It's like, what does it feel like to think about doing? Let's talk about X project because we all have 16 projects at this time of the year. My, it always feels gross. Well, then what are we doing? What are we doing? We're not being authentic, which is what we always want to be as coaches. We're not encouraging others to be authentic. And hate to say it, it's always a gotcha for parents. Do we really want to be modeling this to our kids? You do
Mm,
not.
mm, mm. Yeah. And it's funny, not funny. It's not shocking that we've grown for 5 years and somatic work has been like organically came into my life. I probably already was doing it, but I really, this year has been a huge check in with not only like does things align with me, but what have I pushed down through the years? And that also, the body's gonna um, get triggered if we listen to it when a project comes up that we probably have said yes to for 10, 20 years, or a dinner or whatever it is. um, how do you listen into your body these days since we have a fuck jar and since this conversation came up? um, what are your tools to, you say pause and quiet, but like really what is, like, talk me through if I said, hey, let's do this like this, like let's do this podcast, because I even asked you, let's do this podcast because I feel like people need this conversation, and maybe we also need this conversation. And I remember saying, can you check in with your body after we had this conversation? So what is your process when something comes at you, and how are you starting to do it differently?
I think a lot of it is is truly, I mean, at this age, let's hope that we know ourselves a little bit better too. And I know if something is going to just be mind suckingly horrific to do, that I just need to say no. I think I was telling you, Wendy, about it was a type of therapeutic intervention that I was on with someone a few weeks ago, and she was doing this with a group, and it was trying to ask your body if you wanted. She was like, get in touch with your body, get in touch with some imagery. And I said, I want to do this to determine if I have the capacity to do this other thing. And it was made very clear to me if I would just sit still, which I don't do that much, that this is not the
Loves
time.
it. I Go ahead. It's hard for you. It's hard for you. It's hard for you.
The
It's
hardest,
okay.
and I still can't do quiet meditation. I'm sure that you can do that all the time. I have to have a guided meditation because it's hard for me to sit still. So I do have to sit still and I do have to know. And when I stopped, I got in touch with my body. It's like, yeah, you can't do this right now because you have too many projects coming up. It's
Do you
hard.
do it because you're a type A person? Do you do it? This is what I think you want to logically think about it. And I think that's the way we're taught to logically do things.
And I
And
think
yeah.
I've been conditioned that way, and you probably haven't. My logic has worked for me. Your lack of structure and plan has always worked for you. So we're going to default to our
Yeah.
most prevalent neural pathway.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, like, yes, you see myself as like, I don't want to use the word floaty, but very open to different things, and I jump at them, whether I should or not, I don't know. But I would say I'm more intentional in how, or that is my goal for 2026. And this year I've been more intentional about what I'm willing to give my energy to. Like
Oh,
I come first. And this is also what we've talked about. You know, we're older, we're going through changes in our body. I can't operate the way I was uh, when I was 40, when I had Josie. I'm in a different space. And I think if you're listening, you got to really check in with where you're at and first know the reality. I call it actuality. Like, where am I now to say yes to something or even make goals for 2026? Because if you're making goals that like not only doesn't align with you, but doesn't align with where you are in this moment of time, we're in seasons, right? It depends. Um, Talk to me about how, yeah, how are you? Because you have a course, you have a child in high school, navigating that. You have a business. You take care of a home. There's sometimes we're cleaning homes while we're talking. So where are you in your life right now to talk about how you're intentionally like checking in with your body in a different way than you were either last year or
I like the concept that you mentioned about what you give your energy to. Because I
mm,
remember hearing somebody a couple of months ago saying how frustrated they were with someone online. I'm like, but that's what Facebook does. They try to get you riled up. So I know some of the things that I've done is not spend time on sites
mm,
like that. The thing that I've said before is I just don't feel better when I get off of those sites. When
mm.
I get off of them, I'll tell my husband, I need to tell you these 3 gossip things that I've learned. This cousin is doing this, or this somebody has lost weight. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just seems like I'm gossiping. And I never feel better after I've gossiped. You do get like a dopamine hit that you know something, but then you don't feel better.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if you're trying to get into fights or you do something and you don't feel better after you've done it, that you have to be more intentional about what that relates to with your body, and how you
I
feel.
think that's a great point because um, it's really about whatever you're giving your energy to. And obviously, our phones are in our hands all the time, whether it's social media, someone calling, texting. Um, Again, it's awareness first. And just you saying that, like, do I really need? Does this make me feel good to gossip or say something that I've listened now, wasted my time listening to? Now I'm telling my husband this. Like, what is the cost of this? What is this doing for me? Really, like, what is it giving me energy, or is it like just like I don't even know if it's a draining energy or it's just like no. It's just I feel like it's so easy to get caught in that what you just explained. And I think everybody, including myself. I mean, easy.
Well,
Um,
and it takes up space in your brain. It's like, could I be doing, of course, with me, you're probably like, could I be meditating? And I'm like, could I be doing something more productive? Even if more productive is just sitting down or, being quiet. I can always do something better with my time than social media, than my new vices, playing an online game. I mean, there's always something that will fuel me versus
yeah.
suck energy.
I mean, I don't know if you've done my Be Intentional, but it's a course that we ask a question in the morning and then we reflect. And it's a simple question around it could be around our framework, ethos, like character, around moxie. But when you start to just like sit back and make an intention and then reflect on did I do that intention around different what we believe like physicality is like how you represent your voice and body? How much do you stretch yourself? How much are you sitting still? How much are you connecting, intentionally connecting to people? When you just ask a simple question and then you reflect on what you committed to being intentional about, it's not about shame. It's really about awareness. And is honestly like, I think this is, it's not my way. It's just to me, if you're not intentional, you can't gain awareness. And if you don't reflect, you can't gain awareness. And that to me is like where you can see the time or energy that you either don't put in or put in to something that you care about. You start to see what you care about. Um, it's funny because it's little, but it's when I see people's ahas, like they start, like it's what you said about social media. It's like when someone actually does those simple awareness tools without shame, without judgment, and says, I'm going to take a check in with myself. Then you start to tune in with your body and gain awareness of like what really matters to you. Because normally we're just doing things without intention. I think. I mean, okay. What? Anything about that? That when I said that, because you wrote something down, or what triggered
Yes,
for you?
I was like, I need to go look at your course, but
Come
that's
on
what I
in
wrote.
in January. We're gonna do one.
Oh
Do
yeah.
it. It's just so
Uh,
simple.
and I think about what I was thinking about after you said that when you said no judgment. I know that that's my default. Like I could gold medal sport in judgment. I mean, I'll see somebody on, like a social media or on YouTube or something. I'm like, oh, that's just such a time suck. And then I look, I'm like, oh, they're learning how to, change the oil in their car or something. And I'm like, and wasn't I on social media just to laugh? Wasn't I on a YouTube watching a funny video? Yes, I was. And so I love the fact that you're talking about this awareness, but it doesn't have to be all judgy McJudgeons about it. We can just highlight something. And again, get curious. Is this working? Are you pushing yourself? And if you're not, is that okay with you? It might be okay. I've said recently, I'm like, I'm not really pushing myself in this area. They're like, but yeah, you're going to school. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's pushing
But
myself.
again, that's awareness because,
Judgment, that too.
well, I mean, again, awareness of self is like you are I don't want to say grinder. You are always someone that stretches yourself and pushes yourself, but you almost like don't even give that credit, maybe because you've done it for a year or, and then you're like, oh, what am I doing? I mean, I thought about this going back into my letter this year because this year to me, my theme was to take care of myself, which I'm still in it. So this is a year of intentionally, I mean, lonely because I have to say no to a lot of things, as in socially, because I am need my sleep. There's certain things that I just can't do it all anymore like I used to do. But where was I going with this? Like my theme, oh, this is where I was going because I write a letter every year and I go back in my photos and I was like, what am I going to write about? Like it's kind of what you just said about your school. Like I'm not stretching myself. I literally was like, what am I going to write about? Meanwhile, uh, do I have to go? I did a mother-daughter retreat, homeschooled my daughter. It's funny how I really thought like I had nothing to write about.
On your trips, because you always travel.
But I didn't that year. That may be why I was a little. I traveled in September, but I was home in New York with family. But I didn't really. It was like I really put my whole spring about health, and then we were home. My mom had a knee operation. Like I was giving more of like making sure my mom was fine this summer, and then Josie was fine, and Josie made a volleyball team. I, I really, honestly, was writing this letter like, what am I going to write about? Is that insane? And you know how
For,
I operate. But that
for
is,
you,
yeah, but that's, I think, that's why I love the reflection of the year. Like literally going back to your photos, if that needs to be. And that's what I do. I go back and like, what did I learn there? What did I do here? And there always is a theme when I start to reflect on the whole year of what I learned, maybe what was like happening between Josie and I. And there was a theme, like and there always is. I've done this since 2018. The review of the year is not only like, let me write it down. To me, I think it's like, wow, that was a cool experience. I got to be there for my mom when she had her knee operation. Or I think those, again, awareness. Where did I put my energy? Was it good? What would I do different? Who did I connect to? Where do I want to connect more? Like, I'm very lacking community right now. That I know. Have a big family, but I know a lot of people, but I'm lacking community because I homeschool and all that. So I think your review is a huge awareness of how you can move your energy into the next year. How do you do your yearly review? Since I do a letter craziness.
Um, the the concept, and you've already said you're probably going to get out a book, maybe.
No,
But the
I know she
concept,
will, by the way. I know she always oh, hold on, let me grab this one. And she pulls out the freaking chapter, not just the book. Go ahead.
this one I just listened to the audio, but it's very related to the ruthless elimination of hurry and to hell with the hustle. Interestingly enough, both like Christian authors. But the one that wrote To Hell with the Hustle said he doesn't do goals, but he does like formations. So it's like, I'm not going to lose 20 pounds. I am going to become a healthy person. And healthy people work out, they eat, let's just say, I mean, this is the trend now, fewer carbs. This is what their life looks like. They're not going to necessarily go to the Cheesecake Factory for their birthday thing. They might go do a hike and then go somewhere else. So it's all about the habits. And again, how did that look this year? How were your habits and how were your formations and who do you want to become? And then how do you change that for the year? And this guy does it with his whole family, even his little kids. They get all into it. Go ahead.
I love it. Do you don't remember the guy's name?
Jeff Bethke.
Okay.
So it's Bethke, I think.
I want to look at it because I honestly, do you do something like that with your family? Because you're pretty.
I don't with them. I can try to see if I can get them into that. Sometimes it's a struggle.
Yeah.
And if I can't get one of them into it, it's a hard sell to get the other one.
Yeah.
I do it for me generally.
Yeah. Uh, I think my journey is that letter is the catalyst to bring Josie in. Just because I'm talking about it, I'm trying to figure it out, even though she doesn't know she's doing it. And then we did a podcast recently, but I never did this stuff when I was a kid. Like, I never checked in to see, and I do believe, like, we're in this work. I'm so passionate about helping people, even if it's just this little awareness, like even this podcast, if you're listening. Oh gosh, I do feel overwhelmed. Like, I do feel like I'm charged. And how am I going to do it different? And you said a really important thing, because we're always talking about, and what's your yearly goals and what's your New Year's resolution? I'm not into that. You said, who am I becoming? Who am I right now and who am I becoming? That is different than oh, I'm gonna, and I still believe in this, like, oh, I'm gonna run a marathon. But to me, like, if I'm going to run a marathon, who do I want to become? Why am I doing this? What am I getting out of this? Who do I need support? Who do I need to connect with? Like, I think it's bigger than the thing. It's really about looking at the thing and what how it's going to help you become more of who you want to be.
It's whole, it's the concept, and I've got 5 different ways to explain it, but it's
Go ahead.
the,
I'd like to hear it.
and I usually tell people, I'm like, here's the 5 ways, pick whichever one you want. So it's the finite goals, it's the box checking, or it's the infinite goals. Who are you becoming? It's the doing versus the being. It's the goals or the formations. It's the outcomes or results versus the process. It's performance, which is I just got a promotion, versus the mastery. I'm becoming, I want to be a good leader.
I love it.
So I usually tell people pick whichever one lands. It's the same thing, because if you think your work is done, then what's the point?
It's
We're
fun.
never done.
Yeah, it's funny. I love that you said those contrasts, because it is a different way to look at it than checking off the box. I just joined I told you about this, I think, a group, a community called The Post, and it's all past athletes. So, um, right in your realm, I know. Just so past athletes, college athletes, Olympians, Navy SEALs. Um, and we had a women's group, and this was like really eye opening for me, because it what we're talking about, the being part, is like it's my goal, or I don't know, it gets me excited because I wasn't taught that. I was even in the sport, like we're just doing the thing, doing the work, doing the sport, getting to LPGA. So I was in this women's group, and part of it is about leadership, and something came in about we're we're taught to grind, especially as an athlete. We're taught to be like, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna fail and we're gonna get back at it, which is true. But no one teaches the being. And what do you mean being? Like, it was eye opening. 30 women, 2 Olympians. They were, and I was, God, on our wheelhouse, what I'm talking about. And I was like, it's awareness. Like, it's stopping, it's pausing and asking the body, like, where am I now? What do I want more of? What doesn't serve me? What makes my nervous system calm? And we didn't go very far, but you could see they were like, and it was fascinating because here's corporate, these women that went from being this top at way beyond me, corporate, and it's just ingrained in our being to be doing. It is just that. You're saying yes. You're shaking your head.
It's
Because you're come from the corporate world. I mean, you've been in the corporate world.
correct. And we're always taught to, okay, when's the next level? When do you want to get promoted? When do you want to move up? When do you need to be looking for your board position? When do you always need to be doing more, trying harder? So doing more and trying harder is the theme. I think that's I think that's corporate. I think that's also capitalism. I mean, look at, I know probably some of these are controversial and some of these are just duh statements to others, but it's like you can't keep on selling unless somebody's envious of their neighbor's car, or they want this slick new outfit, or I mean, this is how our country and our culture works. And it's also why, I mean, look at what we do. I think Josie's school is a little bit different now. What do we generally do in school? It's grades. The grades are how the performance is judged all the time. And it's hard to pivot away from that, even though I know I try. Even if my daughter doesn't make a good grade, I'm like, If it's something like math, it always builds on. So you kind of have to make sure that you have the foundation. I'm like, as long as you figured out what you missed and you're good. And one of the phrases that she said recently is, yeah, I knew what I was doing. Again, I'm glad that you did. And if you didn't, let's figure out what you missed. Let's not shame with the grade, because the grade just seems like another checkbox, another performative thing.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's just, the being is the human. Like, we're not machines. We're not here to just get good grades, get a promotion, get married, like all of it. It's like, have the kids. It's like, who are you in the process as a human? You are a human doing all these things. Who are you? Not, I am a golfer. I am, yes, I think the identity of what you connect to pushes the doing instead of really connecting to the soul of who you are, that can navigate when that doing it doesn't match who you are. Does that make sense? And schools, it starts off there. The grading is, it's have you even sport? Like, are you, sport is crazy. I just went to a volleyball tournament. It's in parents pushing, everybody pushing to be the best. Yes, but why are we here? Are we here for these young humans to learn about themselves, to find tools to manage and learn about themselves for the next thing they do? Or we are just about getting into college? And it's insane. Like, because you feel the energy. It's intense. It's like, and you can't tell me these kids, Moxie's loving us. These kids don't feel it from a somatic. Like, look at the kids, the somatic level of what they're taking into their body.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, because sports is all about learning your skills and learning how to improve. And you can talk about this far more articulately than I, about team dynamics, learning to work together, which I'm sure I told you about, a project that I've worked on recently, had to rely on other people. Not fun for the control freak that I am. And again, are these all skills that we need to have? 1,000%.
1,000%. All right. So let's end here. I want to go back to the fuck jar.
Sure.
Excuse my mom. If my mom's listening, I apologize. But I would love to share how you're choosing to show up for next year, and any maybe tips for someone listening, how they can start to gain awareness. I know we talked a lot about it, but bring it home. So kind of share your own uniqueness of what you're choosing to walk towards in a not doing way, obviously. And then I'll share mine, because we kind of did, but I want to nail it home, and I want to give someone who's listening just a final recap of how they can tune into their human being side.
One of the things that I work on with clients is making sure that you're getting clear about your values. So, one of my values is love and to be loved, and another one is gratitude. So, one of the awarenesses that I've had recently is about relationships and family. And if I want to express gratitude, and if I want to love and to be loved, one of the component of being able to do that means I need to be more intentional with family relationships. And I've heard Haley talking about that with a family member that she doesn't really know that well because they're usually busy doing this one thing that they're always known for doing. And I thought, that's kind of sad. And the only thing that I can do about that is change myself. So if I want to be more intentional, if I want to show more love, I have to be the one that's more intentional about creating those relationships versus the excuse that I've gotten from other people is, well, this person didn't do that for you. You right. And how do I want to change it going forward? And that's on me, not on anybody else.
And I love the, I'm going to say ownership. Like if you're seeing it, usually it's a mirror to look in.
Sure.
Exactly. You're intentionally choosing to like put the energy into the value that matters to you. I don't want to say not excuses because we can use excuses. We're busy, school, whatever. But if the intention's there, I love that. I mean, I love that. I think connection's everything. Um, because that's what we do in any, when we talk about ethos in my work, that's the first thing we talk about is like the values, the characters. Because if you don't know what it's hard to be intentional. It's hard to gain awareness until you know those values. Because then that actually moves the needles of what matters to you. And it's funny that because I haven't done really. I mean, I've talked like I'm not going to say yes. We've just talked about that. Like I'm not going to say yes right away. Really be intentional about my energy, create boundaries to like check in with my body. But I do think, and I mentioned this just in this talk about like I'm lacking community. I don't have a school anymore. I work out of home. You know, my mom's with me. Um, I'm spread thin. Um, and I've joined these two communities. One is a women's business group, and one is the athletic group. But I do know I need more connection, even though I'm connected all the time. Like intentional connection. I would say the being very intentional about my connections, because that fuels me. It's like sitting behind a computer anymore. Like it doesn't fuel me anymore. And that's why I love my podcast. Um, so I know for me, 2026, it's not saying yes to everything, but it's being intentional about how I'm connecting. Like I might meet a lot of people in these networks, but like who are the people that are resonating with my body in a huge way that I'm like, oh, I would like to know more about them. That's it. And reach out more. Not in a panicked way, like I got to meet so many people, because that's a different thing.
Yep.
And being very intentional of who I choose to give that time to. Like I met a woman um, last week at a networking thing through one of the networks that I just talked about, Entreprenista, and met a ton of them. But this one woman, I was like, ah, we thought we met each other. You know, it was like one of those things, like kind of how we met. You just like, oh, I was like, I want to know more about her. She was a branding specialist. She just like had a great aura about her with my energy. And I think that and more presence with Josie would be my focus around my value of connection. Um, and it's about like when I'm saying it, what's going in my head is like it's tricky because I don't want to say yes to everything. So, you know, it's a very it goes back to intention, awareness, reflection. Did that serve me? I would say, yeah, connection, but also doing the work that we're talking about around intention, awareness, and reflection, because that will help me stay not leaking my energy. That simple practice. So I want to leave. Do you have anything to say about that before I take off?
No, I just laugh because I think about you coming to visit me, and I think you probably met 15 people while you were here. You're just such a natural connector with everyone. It's amazing to watch you just be you. So when you were telling that story, I go, of course you met somebody. I'm sure you met 50 people there. And I'm sure you liked one. And if you go back, you'll like another and you'll connect deeply with them. Because that's kind of what you do naturally. Pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
and I'm missing that. Like I just love connecting to people and learning their journeys and you
You
know,
did that with our waitress. I mean, you did that
I
with,
did.
yes, you do that just like as you breathe. You do it naturally.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's like that's when you're in your zone because I really care. That I mean, someone laughed. I used to do 400 Christmas cards. Now I'm doing 500, and they're like, "What?" I was like, "Because I really care about the people I connect with, and I want them to know, like, I think about you, and that is my touch point for a year. I always, whether they read my letter, I don't even care. I just want you to know, like, I actually care." And I do. I just can't touch everyone all the time. Um, but it's my, I would say it's my God given gift, and it's what Live Your June is. It's like the movement to like be curious about humans because we never really know what they're thinking or what they've experienced, and when they actually are heard, there's something that like their body, like you can see it, like. And I don't do this with intention. I just know when someone feels heard, they feel safe, their whole demeanor changes, they feel vulnerable, they can actually share things they don't share every day. That is your jam. You do it in a different way, but like that's why we connect. And I don't think that it's out there in the coaching world. It's very driven based rather than like feeling safe enough to share hard things, um, to connect to new people, to dream big things. All of that is when you are capable to feel safe
Okay.
in a space. And you and I have created this space that like we can talk our part, whatever, like
And our conversations are sometimes we're laughing, sometimes we're dropping F bombs, sometimes we're crying. We've done it all, you know?
yeah, yeah. Any last wisdom to the listeners around going into 2026 to create the I don't even know boundaries, but like
I think it's
to honor
boundaries.
their energy,
Yeah.
truest energy.
I think it's what you've already said. How does this feel in your body and how many F's do you have in your jar, you know? Because if you've got none, then don't say yes.
I'm just going to leave it there because that was beautiful. Let's end it with the fuck jar. And how many more do you have? Um, yeah, I just want to, the people listening, I mean, I don't care who you work with, but I really believe in talking to someone that's qualified to hold space for you to help you understand yourself and feel safe enough to go deep, to go vulnerable. That, whether it's Christy, whether it's me, that would be my wish because even this year I had two coaches. Now I have two communities. It's literally shifted me in ways that I kind of was just surviving before. And I just push that for people to have the courage to ask for help and to step into a next level of who they're capable of being, or it's inside of you. You just need to like unwind it. So Christy's contacts will be on there. My contacts, I don't care. Reach out. I just want to, I really, whoever's listening, like don't, if you're thinking it, if this resonated with you, take a step. You can't, doing it alone sucks.
And go deep.
And go
I
deep.
agree.
Use the fuck jar to remind yourself. I love you so much, and thank you for hopping on here. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all that. We're wishing you a energy 2026 full of energy that serves you.
Love it. Thanks.